Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our discussion on the Gaza mystery. There is a lot going on over in the Middle East, and you are encouraged to pay relatively close attention to what is going on in the Middle East. It is no small matter. What we're going to do is we're going to look at what has been identified as the Gaza mystery. There is significant mystery surrounding Gaza, and there are a lot of dynamics that are going on with respect to Gaza and have been going on with respect to Gaza for centuries. And so we are going to be looking very briefly at one component of the Gaza mystery, and there are many components to the Gaza mystery. We're going to break this down in little chunks here so that you can absorb it, take it in, digest it, analyze it, and then we'll move on to the second portions. As with other discussions recently, you are encouraged to screenshot and print and keep hard copies. There's also the possibility that with some discussions, there might be some problem with the discussions. And so, therefore, don't be surprised if you see discussions about these topics pop up all over. The internet or in media, social or otherwise, and then those topics disappear because of censoring dynamics. But we're going to go into this very briefly again, just touching on a part of this Gaza mystery. You're going to find it very interesting and very relevant. Now, admittedly, I am not an expert on the situation in the Middle East, and so I am learning with you as we go through this process. And so, what we are talking about today is the Gaza mystery and the relationship between the Gaza mystery and a number of dynamics that we've already talked about. And so what you see here is a map. Now, these are not accurate maps, okay? But this is a map related to a battle known as Megiddo. And so with this, you can see where different places are situated in terms of this map. So you see Megiddo up in the north, and then you see Gaza in the south, and then you see the relationship of both to the Mediterranean Sea. Now here we have a map with a bit more specificity, and if you look very closely, you can see some of the smaller areas indicated on the map, and you can see the relationship between these areas and Gaza. And here's a slightly different map, so you get, again, another impression of the area and also the relationship to Gaza with respect to these various areas. Before we go into this part of the discussion, you are encouraged to seek out more references, more material on what is going on in the Middle East so that you have a better understanding of exactly what is going on over there. If you are in that part of the world, hopefully you already have a better understanding of what is going on over there. For those of you who are in the United States, however, and in other parts of the world, you might not have any clear sense of what is going on over there because the reality of what is going on over there is mediated through media. So you see pictures, you see film, but you don't actually experience the area for yourself. And so you don't have a real clear understanding of what exactly is going on over there. But again, you are encouraged to seek out additional information. What has been discovered in analyzing this mystery of Gaza is that this place known as Gaza, this name is extremely important. And there are significant issues associated with the history of Gaza. And of course, we did an etymology analysis, and that's where we came away with the extent of the import of this entity known as Gaza. What we discovered, what I discovered, in researching Gaza and this Gaza mystery is that Gaza is associated with the construct of God, God with the big G. Gaza is also associated with the construct of Esau. Gaza is also related to the idea of goat. Gaza is related to some terms that we have been recently looking at. One is Azaz, and then the other is Azazel. Okay. Gaza is also related to the construct of strong. And finally, Gaza is associated with the construct of sacrifice. While looking into the mystery of Gaza, a number of things have been revealed. The construct of Gaza has provided additional information related to that construct of Azazel or Azazel. And what we find is that this is related to, again, the big G God. And so at Isaiah 9:6, we see this reference to this construct that is related to Gaza. And in this instance, it's supposed to be related to a prophetic utterance related to the entity known as Jesus. And so at Isaiah 9:6, it indicates, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulders, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace." Now, this is supposed to be, according to many narratives, referring to the entity named Jesus. When we look at the etymology, this definitely fits. And we also come away with a different understanding of that construct of Azazel or Azazel. And when looking at that, we'll look at it a little bit more. But it is pointing to this idea of mighty God. And it also, of course, is related to Gaza. In doing some research, we find that Gaza is indicated in the Old Testament. It's identified in the Old Testament as a Philistine or a Philistine city. However, when looking at additional histories related to Gaza, we come away with something that is akin to Esau, something that is akin to Edom. And so Gaza is also associated with the word Palestine. When looking at the translations of Philistine and Philistine, we also see a transliteration that indicates Palestine. And so Philistine, Philistine, Palestine are synonymous. However, Gaza is actually associated with Esau. When looking at Gaza and deconstructing it, Gaza is related to a Hebrew origin of Azza. And here you can see a number of spellings for Gaza, and you see the transliterations down below. And so in one instance, you see Gaza spelled with a Gazah, and then Gaza, and then Azzah. One part of the mystery of Gaza is revealed in The New Nation by John Morris, and we're going to look at some of those indications. And here we meet up with these transliterations of Gaza and Azza and Ez. And what we see here is that Gaza, Azza, Ez is not only associated with the construct of goat, but translating as God, G-O-D. And if you look down below, you see in the Hebrew, this is related to God in the sense of maker. And then we come to this transliteration dynamic related to Gaza that is associated with that construct of the goat and the offering, the sin offering, the atonement offering that we just recently talked about. And so, when looking at the construct of Gaza, what we also see is Gaza, in terms of transliteration, is associated with the construct of ashes and offering. Also, down below, we see again a sacrifice and an offering. And this again is consistent with the understanding of Azazel in scripture and our earlier discussions. And so, this is going to conclude the first part of our discussion on Mystery Gaza.